It's 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines, this is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this Friday, August 22. Floods submerged major roads in Metro Manila, including Taft Avenue, where water rose to knee-deep levels due to Tropical Depression Isang. Manila City officials suspended classes at all levels in public and private schools as downpours persisted throughout the day. As of 2 p.m., Isang was last spotted in the vicinity of Madela, Quirino. It is expected to intensify to a tropical storm tomorrow morning prior to its exit from the Philippine area of responsibility. Signal number 1 is currently raised over parts of Luzon, including Cagayan, Isabela, and Quirino.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines reported increased Chinese activities in Ayungin Shoal, including maneuvers and water cannon drills by Chinese Coast Guard vessels. 5 CCG ships, 11 fast boats and RHIBs, and 9 maritime militia vessels were reportedly deployed by Beijing, with some fast boats armed with heavy weapons. Aerial assets were also spotted, including a helicopter and an unmanned drone. Ayungin Shoal lies within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone.
The Sandigan Bayan has acquitted former Vice President Jojo Binay, his son, former Makati Mayor Junjun Binay, and several former city officials of graft, malversation, and falsification charges. The cases stemmed from the alleged anomalous construction of the 2.2 billion peso Makati City Hall parking building. The court said prosecutors failed to prove the accused guilt beyond reasonable doubt.
And Senator Ping Lacson has slammed Oriental Mindoro 1st District Representative Arnan Panaligan for allegedly including flood control projects in his report but denying involvement. Lacson questioned why the lawmaker initially claimed the projects as his initiative, only to distance himself after the controversy broke. Meantime, Lacson has proposed that the Senate adopt the 2026 National Expenditure Program in full to avoid corruption via insertions and realignments. He said the move assumes all items in the NAP were fully vetted by the executive department. Still on the corruption issues, Manila Representative Joel Chua fired back at Mayor Isko Moreno after Moreno ordered the seizure of equipment for a community center project and blamed congressmen for the structure. Chua said he only continued the project initiated in 2020 by then Representative Yul Servo. He also stressed that it is under the Department of Public Works and Highways, not his office. Chua accused Moreno of grandstanding and called him a bully mayor for allegedly targeting his political rivals while ignoring similar structures in the city.
Umikot po kayo sa Maynila, 90% ng barangay hall nasa kalye. O ngayon, kung sinasabi po niya na ito po ay illegal, di dapat lahat po yan, gibain niya. Hindi yung pinipili lang niya yun sa akin at saka kay Congressman Valeriano. Pati po yung mga konsyal ko, pati yung mga barangay chairman ko, ginigipit po niya. Masyado po siyang bullying mayor.
And joining us in a bit, at least we expect him to join us in a bit, Storycon's resident political, what's the word for that? Heckler.
Heckler,
Sorry.
Pandit.
We
don't know because he never says anything, right? So he just turns up when he wants to. So, pasensya na sa mga fans niya, we don't know if or when he will turn up today.
Para siyang galang espiritu.
But one person who
10 minutes away
is
now.
here with us today is, as usual, Philippine Star Editor-in-Chief, Ami Pamintuan. Hi, Ami.
Hi. Happy weekend. Lagi yan si Ed. Nag-iintay ng weekend.
Naghihintay ako ng weekend dahil natutuwa ako pag dumating Lunes. Ayun, di ba?
Yeah, right.
Di ba? Kuha mo yun? Ganyan mga tingin.
Buti ka pa, Ami. You're so charitable with your laughter.
Look at Ami. Ami
CTL daw.
in her floral, tama floral ba yan?
Hindi ko makita eh.
Medyo
The
floral,
monitor is
medyo
far from
floral.
us.
Sorry hindi ko talaga magawa yung ginagawa ni Ronald Llamas.
Welcome back, Ed.
Binata kayo
Oh,
dyan.
Davao.
From Davao, yeah.
Ano ginawa mo?
UNESCO workshop between media and the BARM police.
Specifically related to the elections or no?
Well,
Kasama
it's
na.
mostly about the elections, pero of course, there are also a lot of general issues involved. Relations between the two. It's more fun familiarizing each other with each other's roles, so that they have a good idea. The police have a good idea how the media works, and vice versa. So, very interesting. Very interesting.
What's the sentiment on the ground about the elections? First ever ng BARM.
It's all up in the air right now because of what's happening with the MILF.
Sabi ni Comelec Chair George Garcia just yesterday, tuloy na, he said.
Well, tutuloy naman talaga yun unless
Despite, no? I mean,
somebody...
Kaya ang inaalala lang naman yung violence.
Yes, correct. But
Because of the decommissioning.
because of the decommissioning of the
the suspended
The suspension
decommissioning.
of the
decommissioning.
When I say it's up in the air, that means whatever happens is anybody's guess at this point. Of course, it's all scheduled, it's all planned and programmed already, it's all prepared already. Ang kailangan na talaga is, number one, for people to go to the polls.
Safe.
So, suspended yung ballot printing, Ed. Because of the redistribution of the seats
correct.
na naka-assign sana sa Sulu.
Ay, ba sabi ni
Tapos
George Garcia?
meron pa yung nota nga,
They
yung
suspended it a few days ago.
Kasing sabi sa amin ng Comelec...
saka hindi, sinabi niya kahapon.
Okay.
Suspended.
Okay, that's good.
Tapos yung option nga dun sa ballot na none of the above, paano daw kung yun ang maging overwhelming na choice ng mga tao? Parang boycott yun actually, di ba?
Kasi
Daw kung yun?
as of the other day, nagsalita yung Comelec Central Mindanao election officer. As far as she knew, tanggal lang 7 slots doon sa BARM Parliament kasi nga sa Holo. But that was as far as she knew the other day.
It was redistributed.
Okay, so it's still going to be 80.
Kaya magulo ngayon. Tapos nga yung nota, yung none of the above na choice, na first time daw na nagkaroon ng ganyan sa election natin, hindi ngayon malaman kung paano kung yun ang pinaka-overwhelming vote, none of the above. Sino panalo?
Well, the bigger questions that came up were not about elections dun sa in the dialogue between the police and the media. It was more of the perpetual questions sounding the relationships between the two. Like for example, sa mga police.
Do they trust each other?
For example, sa mga police, questions about bias. Questions about yung pagpanig
Fairness.
sa isang fairness. Yeah. Mga ganung issue. These were issues that kept on cropping up.
Because basically each side tends to look at each other suspiciously.
And also,
Fair
it's
enough, that's coming from somewhere.
And it's also a problem of wrong expectations. A lot of people expect the media to take their side. Whatever they say should come out in the way they want it to come
Correct.
out.
And
Diba? Pag may
this
interview,
is-
kailangan yung sinabi ko, gusto kong prontang-pronta, yun ang iulo mo.
And this is an age-old problem because especially politicians, I guess, or public officials feel like pag hindi natin, if we don't report it exactly as they say
The way
and
they want it.
take it as truth, then it's
You're biased.
Or banggitin
Then
yung
you're biased.
pangalan, di ba? Kapareho nung
na may
umaway
mga
sa akin.
flower pa na ganun. Parang kailangan may palamuti.
public information naman yun, Ami, sino nag-away sa'yo because hindi niya minention
Also,
during the rally.
the other common misconception is when you write about somebody they don't like or somebody they disagree with, they think that you're taking that person's position or stance. Alam mo, so pag mag-cover ka ng kaliwa, mag-cover ka ng critical sa gobyerno, ang tingin sa'yo, kritiko ka rin, kaliwa ka rin, kalaban ka ng gobyerno. There's that misconception that the people you write about are people you're writing for.
Even on TV, even for broadcast, the misconception is why are we interviewing the same people over and over again? Sometimes they are the only voices who would talk to us, and it's not for
there are a lot
lack.
of people would want to grab him.
That is not for lack of trying. Every day, hinahabol natin, for instance, people like Congressman Zaldico, who seems to be in the center of this whole issue with the insertions, right?
A
But
lot of
Hindi siya
legislators we've
nagbibigay
been trying
ng
to get.
interview.
nobody is giving any interviews.
As well, you also have
Yeah.
people throwing bricks at us saying na, but hindi nyo kinukuha ang side ng Dutertes.
Oo.
We'd love to have them.
Exactly. We would love to talk to them, but nobody grants us interviews. And see, VP Sara, for instance, she only gives ambush interviews
to select people.
to the ones in when she's at the Hague,
Davao.
for instance, or magpapatawag siya ng press con wherein everybody's there, and we do carry it live, right, in its entirety. But in terms of sitting down with us one-on-one or three-on-one or whatever on the shows, we never get that chance. For instance, pati yung spokesperson niya, si Attorney Michael Poa, for instance. I think I can say this publicly because it's true. He doesn't even want to come on our show, right? I think we pressed him a little bit in previous episodes, and thereafter, sabi niya, no, I don't want to do Storycon, just because we pressed a little bit. So these are the things that people don't see, and they wonder sometimes, oh, why do you have all the same voices? And the honest truth is, it's very hard to get people to talk to us.
Ito, may isa tayong kasama dito na magaling sumundot kasi.
Ayan yung number one bias.
Welcome back, Ed. Mukhang mas galit sila sa katabi ko kaya sa akin eh. I wonder why.
Ronald Llamas, our resident political heckler, is back.
Ako?
I wonder
What
why.
have I done?
I wonder why nga eh.
Ronald,
Ako
baha.
understandable eh.
Ano sabi sa amin sa'yo?
Ronald, binaha ka ba? Binaha ka ba? Baha daw ngayon. Baha na
Grabe.
naman sa Manila.
May init ang ulo ko kanina.
Nagwawala si Mayor is... Oh, sa tawag niya, City Hall na daw yung City Hall niya. Binaha sila doon.
Umiinit
Hanggang
ako
tuhod.
kanina ang ulo ko, Ami, dahil mga bata sa Villamor,
Ayan,
tinutulak doon sa inflatable, mga bata, tapos sinasakay
Yan na
sa
nga
truck,
Sobra, no?
nire-rescue. Ayun, mga ganyan, no? Tapos makikita mo sa Manila, mga estudyante, tinutulak yung mga tricycle. Tapos yung
Sobra
isang,
daw yung baha ngayon.
tapos
Sobra.
isang senior, naglalakad sa baha sa Taft Avenue, may tungkod, inaakay. So, imagine mo yung gano'n, no? Yung mga nasasalanta, habang tumataas ang baha, tumataas din yung baha ng korupsyon. No, umiinit ang ulo mo eh.
Mataas yung kayamanan.
You know what he accused me yesterday of? Sabi ba naman, yung galit ko daw sa pork barrel, sa kanya ko nilalabas.
Bakit? Ano nga sin daw?
Ang tawag doon, horizontal violence, no? Horizontal violence.
Horizontal
Why
violence.
have I been more antagonistic towards you
Dahil
lately?
hindi siya magalit doon sa ugat ng korupsyon. Nagagalit siya doon sa katabi niya.
So, horizontal violence. Anong isipin ng vertical violence? Sige, pala yun.
So, hindi ko
Kaya
naman
sabi niya, City Hall na daw doon sa Maynila, City Hall. Pero may mga kilala akong mga nakatira sa Manila. Sabi nila, it's getting worse actually.
Yeah.
Kasi ano ba, signal number 1 ba na I don't think it's even signal number 1
Sa
ngayon.
Metro Manila, wala.
Sa City of Manila
konting
eh.
ulan
Hindi
lang
pa
eh.
eh.
Correct.
Konting ulan, baha na yung City Hall.
It's just ordinary ulan.
Konting
Correct.
ulan lang Talagang grabe, no?
Ayun, tingnan mo naman yan, no?
Konting ulan lang yan,
Nagsara yung yung mga ibang opisina sa City Hall dahil nga sobrang lalim ng tubig.
Oo, galing
Hindi
kami
na
sa
sila
south.
Yeah.
Kaya ang
Okay.
traffic, yung mga katabi ko na galing sa north, medyo alta totyedad yung kanilang lugar, mas hindi matraffic dahil walang baha.
Bok, teka, may guess tayo.
Well, there is one person who can answer all of that. Can I call him the man of the hour? DPWH Secretary Manny Bonoan. Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon po. Good afternoon to all
Hi,
our listeners.
Secretary.
Sec,
Afternoon,
Good
Secretary.
afternoon, ma'am.
Sec, paano ba yan? Baha na naman
Yes.
po.
At hindi po masyado malakas ang ulan, ha?
Yes,
Konting
po.
ulan lang.
Yeah.
Malakas po yung ulan kanina. May downpour dito sa Manila po kanina.
But the fact remains na these days konting ulan lang or sandaling ulan lang is cities get flooded straight away.
Paano, Secretary? A downpour is a downpour. Hindi naman siya tuloy-tuloy.
Mukhang kanina umaga, I understand na I was also caught in traffic kanina. I understand dito sa may City Hall po kanina, I think the problem is nagkaroon ho nagkasabay yung high tide and the pumps, yung pumping stations were not able to cope up with the flood waters na i-pump out kasi na-submerged din po yung outlet. So it took some time actually for the pumping stations to pump out yung runoff water inside. And besides actually, the other thing is actually yung the drainage system dito sa area na yan are just being desilted.
Pero Secretary, bakit na-surprise? Ito ba ay something extraordinary? Something unexpected?
Yeah, I always pass that every time that it rains naman, hindi naman ngayon lang umaga napansin ko nga na bakit nagkaroon ng massive flooding dito sa May City Hall kanina. Despite the fact that we were able actually to operate yung ayun to yung pumping station sa Tripawara po.
So sir,
So, ano po kaya ang dahilan, Secretary?
Ang sabi ng mga tao po namin kasi because of the high tide. Nag-high tide po kasi nasabay sa high tide. Yes po.
Pero Secretary, balita ko noon may mga nabarahan daw doon along Rojas Boulevard na yung labasan ng tubig. Di ba nililinis din nyo yun a couple of weeks ago? Ano yung nangyari doon sa paglilinis nun?
Nililinis yan actually, but I think kung minsan kasi after a week, mababara na naman po sa mga basura .
Basura.
Yes po.
So ano po yung naiisip nyo na kung sakali lang no, na yung kahit medium term intervention para, kasi sabi ng mga taga Maynila, parang lumalala daw yung baha sa kanila ngayon. Mas mabilis na tumaas ang tubig, mas mataas yung tubig. Kasi may mga kasama kami dito na mga taga Manila. Yan ang sinasabi nila. Ano po ba yung iniisip ngayon ng DPWH na interventions? Short term, long term?
Kami po, actually sa DPWH, actually tinutulungan po namin ng local governments and Metropolitan Development Authority para doon sa flood management for Metro Manila. And we are actually focusing on the main tributaries dito sa may Pasig River, Pasig Marikina River, San Juan River, Cagayan River. But the internal drainage of Metro Manila, dapat po pinagtutulong-tulungan po natin. Including po yung naman ng mga basura po. I think pagtulong-tulungan po dapat natin lahat.
Well, sir,
Nakahanda naman po kami, but I think the internal drainage system of Metro Manila is so old, antiquated, and actually silted po. 70% of the drainage system in Metro Manila is silted. Hindi lang po na Manila City, the entire Metro Manila po.
Well, sir, in fairness, sir, I'm checking tide charts right now. It was high tide kaninang umaga at 8 a.m. So
8 a.m. po.
Opo. So
It started at 8 a.m. and it took some time actually na po.
Yes, sir. So we grant you that, sir. Pero sir, at the same time, like everybody else has mentioned and pointed out, parang it seems to be taking less and less rainfall for floods to get higher and higher. More recently, I don't know if this is anecdotal or if this is experiential. Parang mas kaunti na ngayon ang kailangang ulan para bahain tayo. Do you have the same observation, sir? And
I think
what do you
that's
think
the
that is?
observation for most people.
Tsaka in relation sa
I
tanong
think
ni Ed,
this
Secretary, talaga namang nag-high tide sa umaga . Ibig sabihin, yung
Opo.
mahirap sisihin, sabi nga ng Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines, mahirap naman nasisihin lang yung flooding dahil lang sa climate change. So, ano yung human element dito?
Yung mga basura po at saka yung antiquated drainage system.
Ang Secretary, pag naririnig mo yung mga politiko, yung mga senador, yung mga congressmen, sinisisi yung DPWH. Pag naririnig mo
Saan po?
naman
Sa
yung
Metro
mga
Manila po?
naririnig mo naman yung mga iba, sinisisi yung mga LGUs. Yung mga LGUs naman, sinisisi yung mga congressmen at saka yung DPWH at saka yung mga senador. So, sino ba talaga? Dahil lahat nagsisisihan eh. Lahat nagsisisihan dito sa cost ng flooding at saka cost ng corruption dahil sa mga flood control. From your vantage point, ano ba ang tingin nyo? Saan ba talaga nang gagaling itong problema?
Well, ang masasabi lang po namin kasi, I think we are doing engineering interventions. But there are many factors po. Sinasabi nga namin, there are many factors that would have contributed to the flooding problems. So, sabi nga namin, it has to be done holistically in an integrated manner. Like sinasabi po natin dito sa Metro Manila, we have to, nandyan yung engineering interventions natin, but I think we have to address solid waste management, we have to address yung land use, mga resettlement of informal settlers, we have to, yung drainage system and things like this. And I think there are also responsibilities naman po of the local government units and other institutions siguro to help us out.
Pero, Secretary, reflective ba yan dito sa bagong NEP? Yung ganyang klaseng mas holistic, mas integrated na approach? Paano? Parang doon sa lumabas na NEP, parang more of the same eh. Still a lot of flood control
NEP,
projects, no?
Sir, NEP is just the engineering intervention. The other components and other sectors like environmental issues, land use issues, hindi po kasama sa amin sa flood control program. It has to be undertaken by the other agencies naman. And of course, local governments as well.
Secretary, may balita ngayon na may feelers daw kay former DPWH Secretary
Babe Singson.
Babe Singson, na siya yung magiging bagong DPWH. May nabalitaan ba kayong ganon? And have you also heard meron namang ganyang mga salita dyan within the executive na mga paramdam na baka gusto nyong magmamahinga or something like that? Meron din ba kayo nakukuha ganong feelers from the administration?
Wala pa naman po. Honestly, wala pa naman po na ako nobody has ever told me anything about it.
May any word from Malacanang to you about all these stories swirling around? Lalo ngayon, naglabasan na story about former Secretary Singson eh. Meron bang word from Malacanang about it?
Wala po akong, there's nothing po na that reached me from the Office of the President po.
Let me take it a point further. I know, Secretary, you've been talking to a lot of our shows, and you've also said you feel you serve at the pleasure of the President, and you feel you still have his trust. Have you spoken to him since Senator Ping Lacson's privileged speech?
Privilege speech, yes. I think ang kwan po natin dito is the last time I talked to the President was actually on itong last Tuesday or Wednesday. And he told me to accelerate the investigations that we are doing in Bulacan Engineering District po.
Accelerate the what, sorry?
The investigations that we are doing po.
Okay. Were you aware that there were all these anomalies in Bulacan, especially in the 1st District?
Yes po.
How long have you been aware of that, Secretary?
We were made aware when the regional director gave me a confidential status report some time ago po. And I have discussed already with the President about it.
Sorry, what is some time ago?
Secretary,
Sorry, sir. Let me just clarify this. What is some time ago? How long is some time ago?
I think ang kwan po natin dito, for the specifics, I think For the specifics, after the zona po, but I think the flood control program, I have spoken with the President before the zona po.
I'm trying to find out because we also talked to our sources, and one of my sources, who's a contractor, for instance, said matagal ng problematic yung district engineering office in Bulacan, and they have long known about former DE Henry Alcantara, for instance. And I'm just wondering why we're only finding this out now. He has been in position since President Marcos sat down, and in fact, he was recently promoted to Assistant Regional Director, correct?
He was assigned, actually. It's not yet promoted po. It's not yet been promoted, actually, Percy.
Okay, pero he was assigned as OIC
yes.
of the RD.
Yes po. OIC Assistant Regional Director po, but I pulled him out
Yes.
already.
Okay, so I'm just wondering if the contractors on the ground, if the people on the ground had long known about these anomalies and the way things work in Bulacan, how come you're only finding out about it recently?
On my part po, kasi I think there are several levels of several levels of supervision. You have the director of that region. You have an assistant secretary for operations. You have an undersecretary of operations. So these are the levels of supervision that should be taking place actually in all the project implementation. So, and then we have a monitoring. What do you call
The regional monitoring.
Yeah, we have a monitoring platform actually, or a computer platform. I have a computer monitoring for all projects actually that would indicate actually
The status.
where the project is, geotag. They have pictures. They have the contractors, the amount when it started and when it is completed. And all this are going into our monitoring data po.
Pero paano ito, Secretary, halimbawa, kailangan pa ba yung Presidente or si Senator Ping Lacson yung makadiskubre ng mga ghost projects? Paano, by its very nature, pag siya ay ghost, ibig sabihin nangyari siya long before.
Hindi po na po. I was the one who we were the ones actually to inform the President about the ghost projects.
Sir, yung
in Bulacan.
Yes, sir. Sir, sa nauhan na Oriental Mindoro naman, kasi after the Ping Lacson privilege speech, nagpunta ang tao ng News 5 doon sa nauhan eh. And
Yes,
wala siyang nakita ayon sa kanya na project at kausap niya yung barangay chairman, wala rin daw project doon and it's been funded na raw twice. So, doon sa local...
That is the problem po kasi. That is the problem kasi. It's actually the barangay that they're talking about, the barangay captain that they're talking about. Now I have been given the report. Yung pong sinasabing na post projects in Nauhan hindi ho totoo yan.
Ano
Na
po yan?
sinasabi ng barangay captain.
Hindi po totoo na...
Ghost.
Hindi po. I think there was just a little miscommunication where the locations are. Kasi ang sinasabi yata nila, wala silang nakita doon sa may sitio, yung sitio DK na sinasabi nila. But I think it's in barangay Apitong naman po. Barangay Apitong. Barangay sitio DK is in Barangay Apitong. But the projects are in Barangay Apitong po. They are saying that wala po doon sa mismong Barangay DK.
Okay, you're saying that the projects really do exist but they're
Mali
not
lang.
in
Yes,
where the
po.
barangay captain is saying they should be.
Yes po. I'm not just being given the report po ngayon. At this point in time, I'm looking at the map.
Secretary, balikan ko lang
Yes,
si Mr. Alcantara. You said you pulled out ba yun as an Assistant Regional Director? At saka kailan
Yes,
po
po.
yun nangyari? Kailan po yun
Yes,
siya
po.
na-pull out?
I think about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago po.
At 2 weeks ago pa, before the expose of Senator Lacson.
Yes po.
So,
Ano po ang status niya ngayon? Anong status ni Mr. Alcantara ngayon?
Floating po, is floating, we call it floating status po.
do you have enough to charge him yet?
We are just waiting for all the documentation. I issued to them a few days ago a show cause order based on yung, especially on the project that the president went to see in San Miguel, Bulacan po.
Secretary,
Sumagot na po ba siya? Ano pong sabi niya sa inyo? I'm sure you talked to him. Ano yung sabi niya dyan sa mga, since mayroon kayong internal investigation, may reply ba siya dyan sa mga ganyang akusasyon?
Ang alin po, sorry, I didn't get to the...
Sumagot po ba si Mr. Alcantara? Because you have an internal investigation ongoing, I'm sure you also tried to get his side. Meron na po ba siyang sagot dyan sa mga allegations of anomalies involving him?
Not officially pa po. I'm waiting for them because I issued a show cause order for them to explain actually yung the status that were looked into by the president and also the other projects that we have seen also ourselves actually po.
Secretary, doon sa privilege speech po ni Senator Ping Lacson at doon sa mga susunod pa daw niya na mga privilege speeches, ay ang sinasabi niya ay yung mga ghost project ay nangyari hindi lang ngayon. Nangyari siya years before. So, meron ba kayong ganong investigasyon na kino-confirm
Meron po.
itong sinasabi ni Senator Ping Lacson na taon na yung...
We are in the process of documenting po lahat nito. Yung report namin to the President about 9,855 completed projects from July of 2022 to May of 2025. Now, this is why I am saying now that yung projects that were completed in 2022 and early 2023 are projects that were started in the previous administration po. Marami rin po ito.
These, sorry, just medyo magulo, sorry, Secretary, we're jumping around, but to close the loop on the district engineers, that's the other thing that's coming up as we look into this, no, which is that the district engineers turn out to have a lot of power. They're the ones who decide on the priority projects. They're the ones who sign off on the projects to say completed, kahit na hindi naman pala or it doesn't exist. What are we going to do about it moving forward? Nala lifestyle check. Is it possible to do lifestyle checks on these officials?
Well, of course, pwede naman po. Lifestyle checks is just one thing. But I think what's important is to look into actually how they are implementing yung mga projects within their responsibility. I think ang kwan po naman namin dito, when we increased the threshold of the amount of project they should be implementing per project is actually to accelerate the implementation of the project. Kasi if sabi nga namin with all the projects that the department is implementing, we are just trying to find a way to implement them more faster and efficiently po sana. Now, what I'm saying po nito kasi, so far naman, we have dispatched actually our people to validate all the completed projects as we reported to the President. And this is the only district engineering offices na meron hong issue na ganito.
Only one, sir. Is that what you're saying? Only one? The Bulacan District?
Yes po.
The
Yes,
others...
I can also tell you that actually in Bulacan, the province of Bulacan has 3 engineering districts. And this is the only engineering district in that province na meron hong issues na ganito.
Secretary, napakinggan niyo yung privilege speech ni Senator Lacson, ano?
Yes po.
Tama ba yung ano niya? Binanggit niya po yung hatian daw sa mga komisyon per project cost. Sabi niya 40% lang daw actually napupunta dun sa actual implementation at mga from 20 to 25% goes to politicians. yung mga project proponents. Hindi bali na sa district engineer, sabi niya mga 8 yun. Tama ba yung ano niya, yung assessment niya? Sa tingin niyo,
Well,
dahil
this is
matagal
what-
na kayo sa DPWH eh.
This is what we are trying to document. But ultimately po, ang dapat mananagot lang po dito is actually the contractor. We expect him, whatever is actually ng mga ano nila dito, he has to deliver what is expected of him of the contract that he has signed actually.
Sir, balikan ko lang, sir.
Sorry, I don't think that's right, sir, because the contractor is there to do the job, but it's DPWH that signs off on the projects.
Kaya nga po, yes.
To say
I
that
think
it's
whoever is
completed.
involved, yes, true. That's correct. I admit. And I think whoever is actually involved in the issue, kung may issue, should be accountable po, not only the contractor. I'm sorry, but it's not only the contractor, but even the people in the department who have supervised, implement, signed the documents and everything. They should also be accountable po.
Sir, so sir, you're saying, sir, of the 123 engineering districts in the whole country, iisa lamang pala yung may problema?
Yes. So far, this is the only district engineering office na meron akong nakapag-report na ghost project ko.
And are you confident now to say that the others do not have significant issues with regard to ghost projects?
So far with regard to ghost projects, wala po akong ibang narinig. In fact, nung narinig ko po na yung meron yung ghost project in Nauhan, I already have it validated, and now I am looking at the report right now and confirming that there is no ghost project in what has been cited po na earlier.
So, Secretary, yung SONA speech ni Presidente, yung kanyang PowerPoint presentation afterwards, at yung mga speeches niya after nung presentation are mere exaggeration? Dahil sa pagkakapresenta ng Presidente, parang rampant at saka nationwide yung problema.
Talamak yung yung dating.
Talamak. So, is that
This is what-
an exaggeration?
Ang kwan po dito is either hindi naman po siguro na lahat ghost projects, no, but the problem is actually yung quality of the projects that were implemented po, kasi maraming nasira, maraming nakikitang hindi natatapos, yung mga ganun.
Okay, sir, so just to qualify, yung sasabi yung problematic lang na isang district is only for ghost projects. Yung ibang issue with regard to, for example, possible overpricing or poor quality, iba pa ho yun.
For quality. Yeah, this is what we are now validating po sa lahat. I think, yun po.
Okay, sir.
Pero Secretary,
In all the
wala bang
other
nag-inform
engineering
sa Presidente before the SONA speech, before the presentation ng PowerPoint, na ganito lang yung problema? Dahil mapapahiya yung Presidente sa kanyang presentation, ha?
Tsaka sabi niya, mahiya naman kayo, di ba?
Oo,
That
sasabog
was
sa
the
mukha niya
sweetest
yung kanyang expose.
Well, sa SONA po is actually, it was a general statement on the implementation of the flood control projects po. Now, after the SONA, we were able to report to the President naman kung where the initial information that we got regarding ghost projects po.
Okay, sir, I understand, sir, you're saying na iisa lang talaga yung, at least as far as you know, yung problemadong district as far as ghost projects are concerned. If we broaden, sir, the topic, broaden the issue, kasi nga, taking off from the President's SONA, mga ilan ang problemadong district as far as ghost projects, overpricing, and poor quality is
Hold
concerned?
on, sorry. I need to fact check another thing. Di ba President Marcos went to Baliwag, Bulacan? That's
Yes, po.
that's in the 2nd district of Bulacan, correct? Does that fall under the same engineering district?
Yes po, yes.
So 1st and 2nd district fall under the...
There are
Okay.
3 legislative districts in that first engineering district po.
Okay, so they fall under the same DE, basically.
Yes,
Baliwag, and
yes.
then the first 3 that he announced, Malolos, Kalumpit, and Hagonoy. Okay.
Yes po.
Yes, sir. So if we broaden the discussion into ilan sa mga 123 engineering districts yung problemado as far as whether it's ghost projects, poor quality, or overpricing, Ilan po yung tansya ninyo from your assessment? And I suppose you've already evaluated a lot of these districts. Ilan sa kanila yung problema?
They were just collating po yung kanilang reports because we dispatch yung mga teams namin a few 2 weeks last week pala to go over yung mga projects na reported completed, and they're just coming up with their reports po. The other area is actually na sinasabing marami ding cost projects is in Iloilo City. And may nagre-report din po sila na wala naman sila nakitang cost projects, but I think there are technical issues that they are reporting actually na parang hindi ho tama yung elevation o yung
So quality po.
technical deficiencies, yung mga ganun po.
So quality sa Iloilo City.
Quality, yes.
Mhm.
So, posible, Secretary, na mas marami pa nga yung ghost projects na yan kasi ongoing pa investigation niya.
Yes po, ma'am. Siguro, I think we'll just try to look all into, especially into this, itong district na ito po.
Yung PowerPoint presentation po ni Presidente, the information came from you, di ba? From the DPWH?
Yes po.
So,
Yes
puro
po,
validation pa lang ngayon? Puro validation ngayon ongoing?
Yes po, for validation. Ang kwan po namin kasi dito is, first of all, nagpatingin kami ng validation teams actually to see present or absent pa yung mga projects that we have reported. So, karamihan naman present lang, pero it's now we are undertaking yung financial and technical validations po.
Let's talk about the funding, Sec. Because I think it's common knowledge at this point na yung insertions, it happens in Congress, right? But I don't know if you're aware, but whenever we talk to both national, provincial, and local officials, they're all pinning the blame on DPWH. For instance, we spoke to Congressman Arnan Panaligan of the 1st District of Oriental Mindoro being one of the ones that Senator Ping Lacson mentioned. There are a few towns and barangays there that allegedly had ghost projects and substandard projects as well. Ito ang sagot ni Congressman Panaligan sa amin, and I will read you the quote so I don't misquote him. He says, lahat po yan, DPWH ang nag-identify. DPWH ang nagplano, gumawa ng program of works. DPWH din ang nagbid, nag-award sa contractors ng mga proyektong yan, specifically ang regional office. Wala tayong say doon, ang congressman walang say sa paggawa ng program of works, pag-design, pag-award. Can I have your response to that, please?
Tama naman po yung niya, except on the identification part of it po. Kasi we don't have any part in the projects that would be added to the budget of the department when they are inserted or added on under the bicameral conference committee and included in the General Appropriations Act.
So when the realignments happen in Congress and the agencies get back the budget through the GAA, I mean, what's your reaction when you see all of the additional the extras?
Of course, we are surprised, actually, and these are projects that have not been vetted in the field, and that would be the only time that we knew about these projects. And however, it's already in the law, and we have to implement it.
The law can be challenged, sir, especially if you're not aware of the projects.
Sorry, ma'am.
I'm just saying that the law can be challenged, especially if you're the agency that's been tasked to implement them and you're not aware of them, right?
Yes, and Yes, and this is the reason why for fiscal year 2025, when we brought to the attention of the president about the extent of the added projects into the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways, then he was very concerned about it, and this is the reason why he put on hold all these projects that were inserted actually.
Secretary,
Mga
sabi
magkano
po
yung
ni...
na-insert, Secretary? For 2025, magkano yung mga na-insert?
I think
For flood
this would be
control,
the
would you
largest.
know?
I don't know kung ilan yung flood control, but I know the amount actually po. The amount the amount of projects inserted. It's I think it's about 450 billion po.
450.
billion.
Something like that, so 45 or 430 billion. But out of that, 26 billion were vetoed by the president.
And that's just
Yeah.
for flood control.
Many of them are flood control po.
And the others went
Very
to?
The others
Public
went
Works.
through what we call for later release that was being scrutinized by the Office of the
Yung
President.
Saro.
Yeah.
Secretary,
So, yun
sabi
po.
ni Senator Jinggoy at saka ni Senator Ping Lacson, these ghost projects, these below quality projects sa mga flood control ay nangyayari hindi lang ngayon, kung hindi even in the previous government. Paano ho, kahit nung previous government, you were a deputy minister and undersecretary. Nung
Hindi
panahon
po,
na
po.
yon ay meron ba kayong nabalitaan ng mga ganitong anomalya?
Yung I was undersecretary before I retired in 2010 po. 2010 po yan ha.
Secretary, anong nakikita
2010
niyong
po.
pwedeng reforms para maiwasan na tong ganitong mga iskandalo? Ano yung mga doable sa tingin niyo na pwedeng gawin para maiwasan tong ganito?
Internally po, we are going to pursue all the cases to our people who have been involved in this and give them as a lesson to everybody that we will not tolerate this kind of mga kung po dito deserve as a lesson to all other people, to our people in other districts and other regions that we are not going to tolerate this kind of behavior actually in the implementation of projects po. And I
May
forward
proposal
them
ba kayo halimbawa sa Congress, may proposal ba kayo na pwedeng gawin? Or sa executive, kung anong pwedeng gawin para maiwasan tong ganito?
I think we are just preparing for our recommendations at this point in time po. At some point in time, we should be able to submit it to the Office of the President din po.
Sir, si Babe Singson keeps saying that they left behind a flood control master plan noong 2016. And he's insisting na it should just be there somewhere in the DPWH. In fact, he was saying in fact, the NEDA has been using it. So NEDA even has a copy of the master plan. Have you been able to secure and find it already, or talagang it's archived somewhere?
I think I have to clarify this a little bit po.
Yes, sir.
Maybe he's referring to the master plan for Metro Manila po. Maybe he would have been referring to the master plan of Metro Manila that would, if all the components of that master plan would be implemented, it would cost about 351 billion. And ang plan namin dito, we are continuing to implement it. As far as the department is concerned, multi-sectoral po itong master plan nito. It's an integrated master plan. And sa amin po ngayon, ang ginagawa po namin dito is actually yung Pasig Marikina flood management program that is now being financed by the Japanese government. And also we are now another component po is actually yung rehabilitation and upgrading of the pumping stations. We are now upgrading 32 pumping stations to increase their discharge capacities po. Now, the other component supposed to be is actually yung environmental sectors on yun sa watershed management in the Sierra Madre. I think we also have to have yung integrated drainage system for Metro Manila, land use, and etc. Marami po yun eh. But I think it's only for Metro Manila. I have to qualify that because baka ang the impression is actually a flood control for the entire country. Hindi po.
Well, sir, kasi,
Because we have 18 major river basins
Yes, sir.
in the country and each has a master plan.
yes, sir. Well, actually, sir, we were talking to him last night about this, and when in talking about that master plan that he said they left behind, he mentioned all these river basins. Among them, for example, the Cagayan River Basin, the Pampanga River Basin. So apparently, at least as far as our discussion last night, he was not just limited to Metro Manila.
Well, 300 billion. No? Kasi there are 18 major river basins that are actually being updated right now. Yes, po.
What
But
are,
what I learned is actually the 351 billion is for the Metro Manila flood management master plan to.
Para po sa Metro Manila, gaano karami yung mga flood control projects? Halimbawa, in-announce last year ni Presidente na libo-libo. Halimbawa, for Metro Manila, gaano karami? At consistent ba ito doon sa sinasabi nyo na kailangan ng holistic, integrated, well-coordinated flood control project? Dahil parang inconsistent yung sobrang marami doon sa isang holistic at saka integrated, at least for Metro Manila.
Well, sa amin po sa Department of Public Works and Highways, I mentioned, ang ginagawa po namin ngayon is actually yung upgrading of several pumping stations po. About 32 of them, which will be completed by next year. And then we are pursuing also yung continuing the implementation of Pasig Marikina Floodway Program. And I think we are now in phase 4. Doon na sa Upper Marikina River po, which the President also visited a few weeks ago.
okay. And then just very quickly, if you could help me demystify this part of the process. Sec, we also spoke to Bulacan Governor Daniel Fernando, who insisted that when DPWH implements projects, wala daw coordination with the regional or provincial government or local government. Is that true?
Let me just explain a little bit how these projects, at least under the National Expenditure Program that we consolidate, which is actually the President's program po, ano? Because all the projects that would enter into the President's program would have been coordinated at the provincial level, pero dapat ilalagay po yung mga priority projects nila, priority projects sa provincial level, and then it's elevated to the Regional Development Council, and then they will consolidate it all into a regional budget proposal. That regional budget proposal. From there, then they will select actually what the priority projects that will be incorporated in the President's budget. So that is the level of coordination that I understand is going on when the President's budget is consolidated.
But on the ground, when it's time to implement the project, when the contractors have to go to the site and start building or dredging or desilting or whatever it is, it's possible na hindi alam ng local governors or mayors?
Ganito kasi I think marami naman sila ng mga barangay captains that mga barangay captains that are being nagpapaalam naman sila dun sa mga barangay captains where the projects would be implemented to. They would know, and I think they should be the one also to report to their mayors or governors naman po siguro pagka ano.
Because so far, of all the governors and mayors that we've spoken to, they've all said they don't know when they're not in coordination with the DPWH now when you implement projects. So it's hard to try to follow this trail. But anyways, we'll leave that there for now. Thank you so much for talking to us candidly. I know it's a difficult time for you, but thanks for your time. DPWH Secretary Manny Bonoan.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Maraming salamat,
po.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Secretary.
May imagine mo ba na wala sa coordination sa mga governors, mayors?
That's what everyone says. I don't know if may nakausap na kayo who's admitted na yes, we are aware when DPWH comes and brings in their contractors to work on the project. So
Problema talaga climate change.
mas maraming
Mataas yung
ulan.
tide,
High tide.
Heavier rainfall, sea
Okay.
levels are rising. Media may kasalanan nito, as Ami always says.
Saka yung presidente na in-exaggerate yung
Kasalanan. Mea culpa.
Mea culpa. Okay, that's all we have for this week. It's been a very heavy news week, but thank you so much for joining Storycon today. Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Join us again Monday, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.